Alright, I learned the secret this time. The secret to going live is to press the go live button. Very, it's very top notch stuff. Anyway, welcome along to another Tuesday night Ask Me Anything session. I do have a guitar, and we'll see how this goes. A long time ago, I used to play this song. Somebody that I used to know, and I used to loop it. And I had a bit of a play with it today, but I thought it might be fun to break down. I will probably get some new ideas from chatting with you all, and hopefully you'll get some ideas. So if you want to set up a guitar and a loop pedal and test some of these ideas out as we go along, feel free to do that, and we'll kind of make this a back and forth little session where you can, if you're confused on something I do, you can genuinely chat and type things in real time. But this came from a question from, let me find it, Renee. Could you share your ideas on looping? Somebody I used to know from Gotye. It basically has 3 simple chords. Please, if you do this song, send me the link. A fan in Salinas, Ecuador, in the Galapagos Islands. Nice. Awesome place to be. So yeah, if you've jumped on, feel free to say hi in the chat. I had a really fun time playing a live looping set on Saturday with you all. So if you tuned in for that, thanks so much for coming along. That was very enjoyable. And yeah, for those of you that want to have a play with this, or if you've got any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat as well. More than happy to to see what we can answer and just connect and have a good yarn about looping and music and things in general. But I reckon let's make a start. I used to do this a certain way, and even today I was like, there's a lot of different options to put this together, depending on what you want to do. So we probably all come up with different scenarios, different ways of looping the same song, which we already all do. You've all seen that online. But let's have a play with it. And let's start off. This is what I used to do. As I say, I haven't played it for a long time, but I would genuinely play with the little that would be my bass loop just on repeat. And then I should say at this point too, I've changed the key. The original key is D minor and C, but my vocal range, it was not a good option for me to. But you didn't have to cut me off, make it like it never. It was not good to play it in the original key, so I used to bring it down and. But you didn't have to cut. Now I gotta think what we're in. But A minor, G, there'll be an F chord at some point, and back to A minor. So I used to start with this. That was my main loop, and I can, if you want, you can go straight into. So you can go straight into the song from that, and build things as you go, rather than a lot of things. We spend a lot of time at the start building a complicated loop setup. So, and then I just start adding the chords to it. So we've essentially got an A minor and a G here, and I'm just going to play part of the chord. So the 3rd and 4th strings, overdubbing. Now and then I think of when we were together. And that's like the little parts that I used to put in. I was listening to it today, and it's actually different timing wise in the original, which is this. So let's put that in. And then we can build over this with more layers of the same chord. So now I'm playing an A minor and a G further up the guitar neck. That's my old habits of how I used to play it. I used to do a stop that for a moment. I used to do a little sixth. So A minor and G over the loop. So I'll put that in. This is what I used to do. As I build up the track, I would maybe at about this point through the verses, I would put in a groove, because I wanted something to be there when the when the rest of the chorus comes in, and I'm gonna have to stop that loop. So I would put in just so you can hear what I'm doing. I'm hitting the strings for a kick sound. I'm sliding up with my fingers lightly. Then on that next beat, I'm strumming down and then sliding up with my fingers. So then when it came to the chorus, I could have that stop. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened and that we were nothing, and still have some sort of rhythm happening as it carried on. So for those of you that want to pull this apart, I would add a bass part now before the chorus. So we've got, and I would just copy that bass line. So starting to build up the track now. When I got to the chorus, I would kick on the OC3. So that means I've got the Boss OC3, which means I still have guitar sound, but I also have that octave underneath it as well. So we would go from this. Let's do a verse. You can get addicted to a certain kind of sadness. Hands free. Always the end. So it's quite low for the verses for me. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we could still be friends. But I'll admit I was glad it was over. And the chorus, here we go. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and it feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. That I used to know. So it's not an ideal way to do a song like this, let's be honest, but playing with it today, I realized that there's a bunch more options I can do in terms of getting to that chorus. And one of the really subtle things that I think can be really nice when looping is I've got this A minor and G progression. They just keep going back and forth. I can actually play A minor, G, F, and G over this without being too much of a clash, setting up my next loop. So here we go. Okay, so I realize now as well as I'm doing this, it would have been great to do it on the second and third tracks. Sorry, not second and third tracks, on my memory number 2, which is where I do, I have it set up so I can switch between track 2 and track 3 for verse and chorus. And what I would do is at that point that I switch them, I would kick on the octave pedal and I would start playing the bass notes of those chords for the chorus. So now I'm building the chorus. Hey Jason, how's it going, brother? So let's just do that. If we get to the chorus, I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I've now built this loop on a on a memory phrase that's not set up ideally. But from the chorus, I would launch straight in with the octave on. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. I guess that I don't need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and it feels so rough. And then that's in the chorus repeats the same 3 chords. So if I want, I can build more onto that, or I can leave that as the loop and play live over top of it. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. I guess that I don't need your love, you treat me like a stranger and it feels so rough. So you can put whatever you want over top of that. Different little bits and pieces into it as well. Yeah, there's a lot of options, but if we break this down again, kind of into the fundamental parts, if you just had one loop pedal like the RC1 or the RC3, then it would be an easy option to just put that groove down. Something simple, and I would just overdub parts that you can then use the undo feature. So when you get to the chorus, you're just going to undo what you did for the verse so that you can play the chords over it. So let's just build it on that one one channel, right? And depending on how much you want to build, it's not my tidiest loop. But then when you get to the chorus, you can use undo that mess. But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. And when you want to come back in, you're just going to have to allow a bit of time. Oh, okay. And I shouldn't break it up so that I know that I'm going to get the right chord coming back in at the right time with the undo thing. Hey Paul, classic. Nice timing. You just tuned into the high falsetto. Yeah. I don't think there's any good range for me to sing this song in, to be honest. I started at the start and I was like, the original key is D minor. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make it like it never happened and that we were nothing. I don't know that I'm gonna reach that particularly. Camillo, hey brother, cheers from Melbourne. Hope you're doing good. But let's say if that's the example, if you have one loop pedal. If you have two tracks on your loop pedal, then what I would suggest is tracks 1 and 2, you're going to build a rhythm, so the rhythm can stay when you get to the chorus, and then your track 2 is going to be your verse chord, so that you can play the little lines. Hey, Opera, how's it going? Indonesia, nice, I like it. Nice to have you here. So, again, this is how I used to build it. I used to start with old habits. I listened to it today and it's changed. I want to do it differently. So I would typically build something like this first, so like. And then I can sing, and as I sing, I would usually build up the groove that's gonna be underneath my my chorus later. Now and then I think of when we were together. So that's gonna stay there. I can fatten it up by overdubbing if I want. You could die. Told myself that you were right for me. It'll just give me a bigger sound when I get to the chorus, because that part's gonna drop out completely. That we could still be friends. And sorry, I should say I would add in the bass as well. Then when we get to the chorus, and this is what I used to do. Again, I think it would change and evolve. I have not played this for a long time, but I admit I was glad it was over. Here we go, high chorus. But you didn't have to cut me off. Make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. Guess that I don't need your love to treat me like a stranger and it feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. So, not the greatest version, I think, all round. But it allowed me to keep some part of the bass when I went to the chorus in the mix and build a track. And today I played around, because obviously now I have 3 tracks. I have the RC300, and on the third track, what's been fun to do. And again, I've just played around with it this afternoon, but while these first 2 tracks are playing, I've built a third track that actually has the chorus chords. There's only one note difference between A minor and F major, so it's not too much of a clash. And so what I can do is I can get away with just doing that once, somewhere during the verses. It's not playing again, I'm stopping it. Hitting my octave pedal, and then switching to these, if you like. We can just do a stop. Glad it was over. Where would we be? And I'm playing the chorus. Again, if I mentioned it before, I should have switched presets so I can switch seamlessly between track 2 and 3. I didn't do that. I forgot. But 1 and 3 would be. But you didn't have to cut me off. So I'm playing the bass live, and that's my little loop that just sits out of the way when I recorded it. And I can start, because that chorus is a repeating loop, I can start building that. That chorus up with whatever parts I want to put in it as well. So yeah, I hope that gives you a bit of idea, a bit of flavour and things of what's going on. It's something I'm actually curious from today, having sat with it, to go and play around again with. So perhaps I'll put this into a more coherent actual tutorial as I play with having the 3 tracks. But I'm curious if you're on who's using what gear at the moment, in terms of do you all have a 2 tracks available, 3 tracks with your looping? I'm real curious if you happen to be around, because yeah, it's tough if you build a verse with the loop, because you get a bigger sound, and then you get rid of that for the chorus. So if we look at it that way, then what happens if we build the chorus as the loop? So it means that for your verses, you're going to keep it pared really down. You're just going to be playing live, and now and then I think of, and you can put a groove in there as well. But then it means somewhere we need to build the chorus, and that probably means building it at the start of the track, and then killing it, which is kind of sad. So yeah, there's various ways to do it, but and I said earlier, that's the beauty of looping. It's the beauty of seeing everyone's cover versions of things on the internet, seeing everyone's original tunes, and just like, okay, how do we use the same gear, basically? So Snee, Paul, you're using my old gear. Is that what you mean by that? Classic. Or are you referring to my old setups? Who knows? But if you're online and if you've got any questions, then primarily these Tuesday night sessions are just to connect and hang out and say hi. If you've got questions, fire them in the chat. And Jacob, thanks, brother. I had a lot of fun. I saw your message, and I don't know if I already said thanks or not, but if I have, then twice. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was really fun doing that set. But yeah, feel free to say hi if you've got any questions in the chat, and I will get to those. And otherwise, I hope you're having fun creating some loops, doing bits and pieces. I'd love to know what everyone's working on as well. Actually, I'd be very curious. Jacob, RC1. So 1 track for me right now. I actually like the challenge of mapping out a song with 1 track and finding a way to pull it off. Yeah, cool. This could be a really fun song to do for a 1 track looper, and I would say you probably want to get just your timing right on. RC1. You can still do an undo with that, right? I'm trying to think the differences between the RC1 and the RC3. But I'm pretty sure you can still do it undo with the RC1. which means you'd get that if you put a rhythm down as your first groove. I'm sure you have various ways of doing this, but if you put a rhythm down as your first groove, oh man, I'm not feeling it tonight, am I? You could build on that. And so long as you keep the things that you overdub still on the same overdub, so what's happening now, I can still add. So that's all one overdub. Yeah, cool. So you can undo. That will allow you to get the all those parts in, and when you come to the chorus, you'll just have to get the timing right to undo or play along for a bit. But you didn't have to cut me off. And then play the chorus. Stranger and it feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody. And somebody. Time this to get it back in again as well. Something like that. Anyway, it should be good fun. There you go. So yeah, Paul's got two jam mans, single jam mans synced together. And actually, you wired a bunch of your own control pedals and stuff too for them, which is awesome. So yeah, cool. There's many options, but hopefully this has given you some food for thought if you're on and tuning in. And I think for this evening it is time for me to go and make some dinner and have some food. And I, to be fair, I'm going to keep playing around with this. I might actually put this into a slightly more organized lesson or tutorial on how to do this song and have some fun with looping with it. But it's a cool song. It's a super awkward key for most people because the range is huge. And thanks for tuning in and connecting. We'll see you later, everybody.